Hello everyone, welcome to Espanol Con Joe. This is a short video series outlining Spanish pronunciation for advanced students. Maybe you've been learning Spanish for a few years, you've learned a little about phonetics, and you have some of the basics mastered, but you're still struggling with pronunciation. If you want to elevate your Spanish to the next level, this video is for you. Throughout these videos, we will go over the various pronunciation rules of Spanish so that you can master Spanish pronunciation and also learn a little about Spanish phonology. Have you ever struggled with rolling your R's? Do you have trouble with knowing when to roll your R's and when to not? Well, in today's episode, we will discuss the Spanish rhotic consonants, r and the tap, as well as pronunciation tips and tricks. We will provide you with rules and examples of each sound and concept so that you know how to pronounce Spanish rhotic consonants like a pro. Okay, without further ado, let's jump into the video. First, we will discuss the Spanish rhotic consonant, r. You may be familiar with the Spanish rolled R, also called the alveolar trill, but you may not be sure how to make it and when to use it. This is totally fine. This is the hardest sound for English speakers who are learning Spanish to make. Let's try and make this sound together. First, try putting the tip of your tongue against your alveolar ridge, like so. This is the place right behind your teeth, like you were going to make a t sound. Then blow air and simultaneously move your tongue towards the right position, and you will eventually have it sound like this. For example, this occurs in the word rapidez. This sound takes a lot of practice, but once you get it down, it is hard to forget. If you would like a really good in-depth video of how to practice rolling your R's, I've placed 2 great videos in the description down below. Okay, well some of you might be saying, okay Joe, I practice rolling my R's, but I just can't do it. That's okay. This sound comes with a lot of practice, and I can assure you that you can do it. It just takes time. Okay, now let's learn about the second Spanish rhotic consonant, the simple R, or the tap sound. This simple R, or the tap sound, actually exists in English. In English, this sound is the same as the T in butter. We are not actually saying butter, but instead we are simply tapping our tongue on the roof of our mouth and saying butter. This tap sound is the same in Spanish, and is made by tapping your tongue once against the roof of your mouth. For example, in the word gracias, we don't roll the R, but instead we simply tap it for a pronunciation of gracias. Okay, now that we've discussed how to make both of these sounds, let's learn when we use both sounds so that you can pronounce Spanish R's like a pro. Okay, let's first learn where the rolled R is pronounced. There are 2 occasions where this sound is used in Spanish. The first one is whenever you see an R in the initial position, meaning the first sound you make after a pause. For example, in the sentence, Ricardo y yo vamos a la playa, there is an R in the initial position, so you would roll the R in Ricardo. The second time where you would roll your R's is whenever you say a double R. For example, this occurs in the Spanish word for Puerto Rican, which is puertorriqueño. Since there's a double R, you would roll this sound. Okay, now let's talk about when to use the tap sound. The tap is used in every other situation where a single R is not in the initial position or there are no double R's. For example, this sentence will be pronounced as Quiero tener la receta. Since there is no R in the initial position and there are no double R's, all the R's are pronounced as taps. However, if we had this sentence, it would be pronounced as Romeo es mi amigo puertorriqueño. And you would roll the R's in Romeo, since the R is in the initial position, and in puertorriqueño, since there's a double R. Okay, I hope that makes a little more sense on where to pronounce those sounds. A quick note. Many Spanish speakers will roll their R's sometimes for emphasis, even when there is technically not supposed to be a trill sound. So if you hear someone using the trill sound where it shouldn't be, this is probably for emphasis. However, that being said, the rolled R can also cause a lot of problems for not only non-native speakers, but also native speakers of Spanish. Many speakers of Spanish cannot pronounce the trill and just get by with using a tap sound where the trilled R should be. So if you can't make this sound, it's okay, and it's not the end of the world. But if you want to take your Spanish pronunciation to the next level, nailing this rolled R will definitely do it. Okay, Now let's practice with a couple of sentences to test if you've mastered your Spanish R's. Okay, let's practice. I will give you 3 sentences. Try to pronounce them on your own, and I will give you the correct pronunciation as well as the transcription. Okay, let's start. Hay ratones en el río. Hubo un horrible terremoto en Puerto Rico. Recomiendo que corres a la estación de radio. Did you pronounce these correctly? Remember the rules we talked about earlier. If you got these right, you are definitely on your way to mastering Spanish pronunciation. Okay, that's all for today's video. I hope this helped you learn a little more about Spanish pronunciation. If you liked this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Gracias!